was some crazy going on.
Like Cosby like
Diddy wasn't even that big. It was could do it.
There's alleged murders. A bunch of people that got pneumonia. A bunch of convenient people that died of pneumonia.
Murphy's career. Today, new shocking allegations coming from her father, who says she was poisoned.
Guys, the Brittany Murphy saga has taken a wild turn after it was revealed that Brittany's dad, Angelo Bertolotti, made a stunning claim that his daughter was poisoned, and he said he had the receipts to prove it. More than a decade after Brittany's sudden death, at just which was officially ruled as due to pneumonia, anemia, and complications from prescription drugs, her dad dropped the bombshell that he commissioned independent toxicology tests, and those tests, according to him, showed traces of heavy metals consistent with poisoning. The results were reportedly sent to both the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office and the LAPD, with Bertolotti hoping to have the case officially reopened. But the silence from the authorities was deafening. Even more heartbreaking, Bertolotti revealed that he had to abandon a legal battle against the LA Coroner's Office just to try to exhume Brittany's body and finally get answers. But now rumors suggest that he had gotten his hands on proof that Diddy and Ashton were allegedly involved. So guys, you better grab your seats because this Brittany drama just got a lot worse.
She was poisoned. Mr. Bertolotti, why do you believe that? Why do you think that she was poisoned?
Well, it's very suspicious, and I read the reports on the toxicology reports, and everything sounds very, very, very more or less suspicious. And I feel she was poisoned. There's no question about that. And I feel
Now, over a decade has passed since the world was shaken by the sudden and tragic death of Brittany Murphy, best known for her iconic role as Ty in the beloved 90s teen comedy Clueless. But even after all these years, the questions surrounding her final moments remain as haunting as ever. On the morning of December 20th, 2009, Brittany was found unresponsive in her Hollywood Hills home. She had reportedly been battling flu-like symptoms for several days, but had not sought medical treatment. That morning, Brittany collapsed in her bathroom, calling out for her mother, Sharon Murphy, in a desperate cry for help. She was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but tragically pronounced dead just hours later. The official cause of death: pneumonia, anemia, and multiple intoxication from a mix of over-the-counter and prescription medications. No illegal drugs were found in her system. At the time, it sounded like a heartbreaking mix of poor health and bad timing. But for many, something never sat right, because Brittany wasn't just any actress. By 2009, she had established herself as one of Hollywood's brightest, most versatile stars. She'd stolen scenes in cult classics like Girl, interrupted alongside Angelina Jolie and Winona Ryder, and delivered raw emotion opposite Eminem in 8 Mile. Audiences adored her effervescent charm in romantic comedies like Just Married, where she starred alongside then-boyfriend Ashton Kutcher in Little Black Book. But behind the scenes, Brittany's life had grown increasingly chaotic and isolated. She was living with her husband, Simon Monjack, and her mother, both of whom were later described as intensely protective and controlling. Hollywood whispers suggested her career was faltering, her health deteriorating, and her social circle shrinking. And then came another shocking twist. Just 5 months after Brittany's death, Monjack also died of the same exact causes: pneumonia, anemia, complications in the same house. The odds? Astronomical. That's when Brittany's father, Angelo Bertolotti, stepped in with accusations that rocked the public, claiming the original autopsy was incomplete and possibly flawed. He funded an independent lab analysis that, according to him, revealed traces of heavy metals in her system, suggesting she may have been poisoned. He later accused unnamed individuals of foul play and called for the case to be reopened, suggesting Brittany had been His fight to exhume her body and prove the truth was long, bitter, and ultimately unsuccessful, but it kept the questions alive. By 2011, new details had emerged that painted a far more complex and heartbreaking picture of Brittany Murphy's final days, and they only deepened the mystery surrounding her untimely death. According to an investigation by The Hollywood Reporter, Brittany had been battling a cocktail of health issues in the months leading up to her collapse. Far from the glossy red carpet image Hollywood had sold us, the actress was reportedly in constant physical pain and increasingly dependent on prescription drugs just to function. One major turning point came years earlier during the filming of 8 Mile, when Brittany reportedly suffered a seizure on set, prompting doctors to place her on anti-seizure medication. Later, she was involved in an auto accident, which left her with chronic pain. On top of that, while filming an indie movie in Puerto Rico, she contracted Staphylococcus aureus, a serious and aggressive bacterial infection that's now believed to have played a critical role in her death. In the final days of her life, Brittany was taking Biaxin, a powerful antibiotic, to treat the infection. But that wasn't all. Her medicine cabinet reportedly included migraine medication, cough syrup, nasal spray, fluoxetine, Prozac, an antidepressant, Klonopin, an anti-anxiety, anti-seizure drug, methylprednisolone, a strong anti-inflammatory steroid A beta blocker, prescribed by her doctor. Vicoprofen, a potent mix of hydrocodone and ibuprofen, is taken for severe menstrual pain. That's an overwhelming mix of sedatives, painkillers, and antibiotics, all being taken at the same time by someone whose body was already in crisis. In the 10 days before her death, she was reportedly suffering from a severe case of laryngitis, unable to speak clearly, and deteriorating fast. According to her mother, she could barely eat or sleep. Making matters worse, she was on her second menstrual cycle that month, a rare but not impossible occurrence that severely depleted her iron levels. By the time she collapsed on December 20th, her red blood cell count was down to 1/4 of normal, a sign of dangerous anemia that left her body completely defenseless. Despite the long list of medications and medical red flags, no one intervened in time. No hospital visit, no emergency call until it was already too late. What makes this even more tragic is the growing suspicion that she was over-medicated, misdiagnosed, or potentially neglected. And when you pair that with her father's later claims of possible poisoning, the pieces begin to form a much darker narrative. Was this a tragic case of a young woman quietly suffering under the weight of fame, illness, and toxic prescriptions? Or was there something or someone else at play behind the scenes? The official cause of death may be on record, but the true story of Brittany Murphy's final days remains shrouded in unanswered questions, lingering doubt, and a legacy forever tinged by tragedy. Now, here's where things get really dark. You see, Brittany Murphy's death didn't end in 2009. It spiraled into an even darker, more heartbreaking saga for her father, Angelo Bertolotti, who died in 2019, still searching for answers he never found. In what now feels like a haunting confession, Angelo revealed before his death that he had to abandon a legal fight to exhume Brittany's body, a battle he believed was his only shot at uncovering the truth about what really killed his daughter. Despite spending everything he had financially and emotionally, he was left with nothing but more questions and a painful silence that only grew louder over time. Living in a small 2-bedroom apartment in Sherman Oaks, surviving on a military pension and government handouts, Angelo had become a shadow of the determined man who once publicly accused unnamed parties of murder. He gave interviews, filed reports, paid for independent toxicology testing, and begged for Brittany's case to be reopened. But with no support from law enforcement or the courts, and no help from the one person who may hold critical answers, Sharon Murphy, Brittany's mother, he hit a dead end. And now it seems Sharon herself has vanished. According to family insiders, Sharon Murphy has been completely AWOL for over 5 years. No public appearances appearances, no statements, no confirmed address, no known contact with anyone close to Brittany's side of the family. One source even chillingly admitted, "We fear she may be dead." Why does this matter? Because Angelo always believed Sharon knew more than she ever let on. She was in the house when Brittany died. She was in the house when Simon Monjack, Brittany's husband, died just 5 months later. Same causes, same location, same eerie silence afterward. But when the investigation intensified and Bertolotti tried to have the body exhumed, Sharon was reportedly uncooperative, some say actively obstructive. In one of Angelo's final interviews, he heartbreakingly admitted defeat. "I have no idea what happened. I wish I did. I think about my daughter a lot, but I've lost hope. I thought I'd solved it, but I was getting a lot of publicity from it, and I had to back off. But we need Sharon. I've not seen her for years. She's disappeared somewhere. No one knows." He added that he often wished it had been him instead of Brittany, revealing the physical and emotional toll of his relentless but fruitless pursuit. A war veteran left disabled, alone, and grieving a daughter he believed was taken from him by something or someone he couldn't name. "I don't really speak to anyone," he said. "It's a cruel situation." Now, this is where the rabbit hole gets deeper, because if you're wondering how Diddy connects to the mystery surrounding Brittany Murphy, the trail might lead straight through none other than Ashton Kutcher. Brittany and Ashton famously began dating in late 2002 after meeting on the set of Just Married, and at the time they were every tabloid's dream couple. Young, funny, charming, and seemingly inseparable. Rumors even swirled that they were engaged thanks to those matching rings they both wore, but within just 5 months the romance was over and nobody really understood why. Well, now fans are starting to piece it together, and the picture is a lot darker than we ever imagined. Shortly after their breakup, Ashton went public with Demi Moore, and while Hollywood painted it as a love story behind the scenes, the timing was way too convenient. The split with Brittany was abrupt, and Ashton's pivot to Demi, a woman 15 years older, deeply embedded in Hollywood's elite scene, raised major questions. Now here's where things start to really twist. Ashton Kutcher has long been associated with Diddy's inner circle. The two were spotted together frequently in the early 2000s, and Ashton was reportedly a regular guest at Diddy's infamous parties, the same parties that have since become the center of allegations involving exploitation, surveillance, and blackmail. These weren't just wild Hollywood nights, they were operations, according to some insiders, and everyone who attended allegedly saw things they weren't supposed to see. Which begs the question, what did Brittany see? It's not far-fetched to believe that Brittany, through Ashton, got a glimpse into that world, and it may have changed everything. Like the late Kim Porter, who also had a deeply personal connection to Diddy and later died under highly suspicious circumstances, there's growing speculation that Brittany may have known too much. Think about it. Brittany's career took a strange nosedive after her split with Ashton. She began working on lower budget films, had a bizarre falling out with her agency, and grew increasingly isolated. She was reportedly afraid of being followed. Her behavior became more erratic, and yet no one in her circle truly intervened. Add to that her sudden death at 32, followed by her husband's death in the same home just 5 months later, both from identical causes, and now connections to Diddy's increasingly exposed inner circle. And it's hard not to start asking serious questions. Was Brittany Murphy just another tragic Hollywood story, or was she silenced before she could say too much? Now, with Angelo gone and Sharon missing, the only people left to carry this fight forward are those brave enough to keep asking the uncomfortable questions. Why was Brittany so sick and yet never taken to a hospital? Why did Sharon reportedly sleep in the same bed as Simon Monjack after Brittany's death? What really happened in that Hollywood Hills home? And most of all, why has no one been held accountable? It's been nearly 15 years and the pain still echoes, because Brittany Murphy didn't just die, she disappeared under suspicious circumstances, and the two people closest to her in life are now both gone. But the truth, it's still out there. Anyways, what do you think about this drama? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other stories for even more celeb tea. Till next time, bye.